everyone, my name is Patrick and today we'll be making carnitas and tortillas. Okay, so now we're going to begin to prepare the meat. So this is pork shoulder. It's a very fatty meat, as you can see, but it's not as fatty as something like pork belly. So now I'm going to cut the meat into cubes, and then we're going to begin braising the meat. You want to cut the meat into something about this size. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's all going to be braised in the end. Okay, so now we're going to begin to braise the meat. Braising means to cook meat in some kind of liquid for a long time at a very low heat. I'm going to put the meat into the pot. Next, I'm going to add salt. Now you want to use 1% of salt per amount of meat. So we have 1 kilogram of meat and we have 10 grams of salt. Okay, next I'm going to add water. You want to cover the meat just barely with water. It's okay if some pieces of meat are sticking out. Something kind of like this. I'm going to bring the water to a boil, and once it comes to a boil, I'm going to lower the temperature to a medium low and let it simmer until all the water is evaporated. Now we're going to make the tortillas. So first, we need 450 grams of bread flour, which is what I have here. So put that into the bowl. Next, we are using 5 grams of salt. Now we are going to use our fat. We have 80 grams of vegetable oil here. Normally, you would use pork fat or lard, which is traditionally used to make tortillas. You want to use your hands and mix everything thoroughly. Next, we have 250 milliliters of room temperature water. I put about half in and I'm going to mix, and then I'll add some more. A rough dough has begun to form, and that's what you want. So I'm going to keep mixing it and add the last little bit of water. It should look something like this. I'm going to spread a little bit of flour onto the surface in front of me, and then I'm going to knead the dough. I'm going to use my body weight and push down on the dough, bring it up, and push it down, and continue that motion until the dough forms a nice smooth dough. Okay. I'm going to put the dough back into the bowl, cover it with plastic wrap, and let it rest at room temperature for about 10 minutes. Next, we are going to make guacamole. Today we are using a rolling pin and a goma mixing bowl. If you don't have these, you can use a bowl and a fork to mash everything together. So first, I'll start with the avocados. So I cut it all the way down the center. I'm going to push and pull apart. It should come apart like that. Okay, I'm going to mash these next until it's very well incorporated. This goes without saying, but please use ripe avocados because not ripe avocados are very hard and have a bitter taste. It should look something like this. I'm going to add salt. I just have a lot of salt here. I'm going to take about 2 to 3 pinches of salt, put it in, and then mix it around. And last, I'm going to add some lemon into it. I squeezed it over my hand so that none of the seeds would enter the guacamole. I'm going to mix that around, and it's ready to eat. Let's make the salsa. So I'm going to turn the heat to a medium high, and then I'm going to saute everything. Add just a little bit of oil. Then I'm going to place the tomatoes, the garlic, skin still on, and the onion into the pan. It's turning brown, and that's what you want. You want to see some color on the tomatoes and every other ingredient. Everything has a nice amount of color. It's cooked all the way through, and there are some burnt bits, but that doesn't matter because it just adds to our flavor. After our ingredients finished cooking, now is time to put it all together and make a salsa. So I'm going to first take off the wrapper of the garlic. I will cut off the top and put the rest into the blender. Take the onion, cut off the root, and put it into the blender. And we had some peppers, and we're gonna put that into the salsa as well. Add just a little bit of salt, and let's begin blending. If it's too thick, you can add some water to thin it out. If you want it to be thicker, then you can cook it off. Should look like this when it's finished. I think this is a very good consistency, so I will leave it like this. All right, so let's begin to make the tortillas. I'm going to take off the plastic wrap and weigh out about 25 grams. I'm going to make about 5 balls to start off with. It doesn't need to be exact, but roughly the same size so that all your tortillas come out the same size. Going to cover these so they don't dry out, and I'm going to begin to roll out my tortillas. Again, I put some flour onto the surface so that the tortillas won't stick when I roll. So first, I'm flattening the dough with my fingers until about that size, and then I'm going to begin to roll. So you want to roll, pick up the tortilla, put it down, roll again. So pick it up, turn it, then roll, pick it up, turn it, and then roll. Your end product should look something like this. You can continue to roll it out if you want it to be bigger. It can get very thin. And we're going to continue to roll out the remaining dough until we have about 28 tortillas. Now we will begin preparing our tortillas. First, you want to get a cast iron pan. If you don't have a cast iron pan, you can use any pan in the house, as long as it can get really hot. So I will turn the heat on very high. I can tell the pan is very hot because I'm starting to see smoke. When you cook the tortilla, you want to place it into the pan. Give it about 20 seconds in the pan and you will see bubbles start to form on the tortilla. So it's almost ready to flip. After 20 seconds, you will flip the tortilla. Perfect. You'll see some brown spots on the tortilla, but that's fine. Give it another 10 to 20 seconds. Once it's finished cooking, you want to put it into a towel and that will keep it warm. Our water has finished evaporating, as you can see. And all that's left is the fat that has rendered out from the pork. And we're going to use that to cook the pork. I'm going to turn off the heat and we'll move on to the next step. You can leave the carnitas the way they are, but I like to bash them a little bit. It makes it easier to eat. Now I will begin to finish off the carnitas. So I will turn the heat to medium to medium high. And it will cook in its own fat until it becomes nice and crispy. Okay, it's almost done. As you can see, many of the strands of carnitas has become nice and golden. So I'll take it off the heat and put it into a bowl ready to serve. And we're finished. After all our hard work, we can finally eat. So let me show you how to make a taco. First, you put the tortilla in your hand. You get a little bit of the carnitas and you put it into the taco. Next, I'm going to add some onion and lemon that I prepared earlier. Just a little bit of onion. And a nice squeeze of lemon. Add some salsa on top. And last but not least, some guacamole. Your taco is finished. Oh, it looks so delicious. Perfect. Yeah, that's delicious. In America, Mexican food is very popular. In my state, there is a lot of Mexican food, taquerias and restaurants. There's many options to choose from. As a child, I grew up eating a lot of Mexican food and I found love for the food. Here in Japan, there is not a lot of Mexican food. So I decided to make my own Mexican food here in Minami Shimabara.
はい、ではいただきます。おいしい。
If you have any leftover salsa or carnitas, you can store them in the fridge. For the salsa, you can put it in a jar like this and store it for up to 1 week. For the carnitas, you can put it into a container, an airtight container, for about 3 to 4 days. So we've come to the end of the video. Today we made tortillas, carnitas, guacamole, and salsa. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you make it at home. Please try it for yourselves. Thank you.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.